Hello scrappers and planet lovers, Tin Man here with another video. So today I'm tackling my arch nemesis here. When I was about 7 years old, I was trying to show my twin how to use a circular saw, and I ended up cutting my leg and getting 60 stitches down my leg. So this kind of machine makes me nervous. This is probably my 4th time in my life actually touching one of these. I found it the other day on garbage day and it doesn't work. The cord's already frayed on both ends. There are a lot of nice things on here. This frame here is cast aluminum. There's a motor, there's some steel, and another appliance that I'd love to divert from the landfill. So here we go. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take off this aluminum frame. It is just connected in the back by some screws. So I'm gonna take those off. I've already taken off a couple just for the sake of time. They are larger screws because they connect the main body to the aluminum. So easily this comes off, and I'm just going to take a magnet to see, and very large screws. I am going to take a magnet to see if there's any steel pieces on here. Okay. There is not. There is a little bit of sawdust I have to clean out of here, but a really nice piece of cast aluminum. Cast aluminum in Canada right now go for about 30 cents a pound. It's gone down a little bit because of the COVID-19, but still a nice heavy piece, probably about 3 pounds. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do is I want to get this blade off because this is what makes me nervous. So I'm going to put gloves on. There is a bolt right here in the middle. Okay, I may be able to give someone this blade. It's in good condition, it seems, but I am going to take this blade off right now using my wrench. Okay, I'll hold it. Gotta go. Okay, so go clockwise. So the blade comes off. The blade has a couple pieces of steel. As I said, if this was in bad condition, I'd still throw this into my steel pile. But again, I think it's in good condition, so I can give this to someone who has a circular saw. Okay, and now I've got my cord and I'm getting into the interior. You can see inside there is a motor, okay, on both sides. There are screws in the back. Sometimes you have to find them because there could be a lot of sawdust that blocks it. But I found them. And then you can see some of the sawdust is actually coming up. There are also screws down the arm here. I gotta make sure that I get them all out. Okay, so body. And as you can see inside here, a lot of buildup of sawdust. Okay, so pull this handle off, it's plastic. And I can already see inside, there's a lot of cords. There's going to be a silver contact box right there. Okay, so I just gotta undo these with the screws to release it. My screws go into my steel pile. I store them up. Scrapyards don't like to have screws loose, so I like to put them in a bin, and it's also more courteous for other people to go in. Sometimes I see nails on the side of the ditch there or the side of the scrapyard parking lot because people will bring them in as steel, but they will not put them in a bin and they fall out of their truck, and unfortunately that's a good cause for a flat tire at a scrapyard. So, yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna cut this wire first. Now, this wire is appliance wire. In Canada, this goes for about $1 a pound. It's not a pound, but I throw it into my appliance insulated wire. on the end here, there is a nice black box, and it's with the trigger. Anytime you have a click, there is going to be silver inside. And you can see right here, there's some brass connectors. So I'm actually, for this video, I'm just gonna break this box off for you. I'm gonna put my safety glasses on, and I'm just gonna take a screwdriver. It's just bolted in with plastic. Gotta get this connector off, this box. There we go. Okay, you're gonna pull it out. Okay, and I've already pulled a little bit off of it. There's a spring, and inside here, I'm gonna show you the camera. I'm gonna pull these brass pieces up. Actually, I'm just gonna get a hammer first and get the plastic off. So this is what is inside, and if you can see right there, there is a nice silver dot. Those are silver contacts. So what I do is I cut them off. They're connected to copper. The copper is going to go into my copper bin, and the brass is going to go into my brass bin right here, that screw. And the silver contacts, I break them off and I actually put them into a little container. And one day, hopefully, I'm going to hit them with some nitric acid and have myself a nice silver bullion. So, some silver contacts. The back end here, unfortunately, is plastic. It's going to go into my landfill. Okay, I'm going to make sure I get all the screws. There's a couple more screws that are connected to the handle. Okay, this frame comes off. Now this frame does have a little steel. I have to just make sure I get those off of the screws. But here is another nice piece of cast aluminum. There's a piece of clean aluminum right here, but there might be a little bit of metal inside, so I might have to break this open. If I can't get this steel out, this will classify as dirty aluminum, dirty cast aluminum. Better price than it would be for just plain steel. Okay, but I think I can get that steel washer and steel stuff out of there. Okay, so a little bit more plastic. This motor, I'm going to try and, there's a steel frame around it, or plastic frame around it. In order to get this out, I'm just going to try hitting it with a hammer. Sometimes smashy works the best. Sometimes it's just trying to figure out if there's any more bolts in here. Unfortunately, it's hard to see with all the sawdust. Okay, this is a solid piece. Oh, there's the screws right there. How to get that out? I'm looking. Oh, okay. There's going to be screws right inside this fan. So I'm going to try and put a screwdriver in there. Reach down. And I can reach them. So unscrew these. And this motor should fall out. Once this is done, I think there might be 4 screws or 2 screws. We'll see. There's one. It is a little oily, but it's okay. It's not going to hurt you. And there's going to be a really nice copper motor inside. I can already see the copper. And hopefully that was it. That's 2 screws. And they are long screws, so sometimes it's just a matter of getting it all out. Back on. There we go. So there is the first copper bearing motor. And this copper bearing motor, I will not take the time to separate the copper from this. It's very, very tightly wound on here. So what I actually do is I will just put this into my copper bearing motor pile as is. It's a good 2 pounds. Okay, so I'm gonna get copper bearing motor price for that, which is nice. Inside of here though, there is a nice copper motor right here. So I gotta work this out. I'm just gonna take a screwdriver and pull it out. I'm actually gonna see if I can just hammer that shell, break it, loosen it. There we go, it's coming out. Okay, it's got a couple more wires that I need to cut. And again, I can take this and put this into my copper bearing motor pile and get copper bearing motor price. But you notice there's a really nice pieces of copper here. And all I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna just take this steel connector off. It just comes off like that. There's some tape that I'm just gonna peel off on both sides. And I'm actually just gonna use my angle grinder, and I'm going to just put 2 small incisions there and there. And then I'm gonna put this in my vise, and I'm actually gonna use science and just pull it up with a lever, as a lever. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna snip these pieces. Make sure I get all the steel off. So there's a couple pins. Just pull them off right here. Here's some more steel. Just makes it easier to cut. Okay, it comes underneath the table. Okay, I'm gonna take the tape off here with a knife. There we go, very easy to do. Okay, again, a lot of sawdust, so could be a reason why this thing shorted out. Sometimes people don't take care of their appliances and their electronics, and they build up with steel and sawdust and rust and everything else. So I'm also going to do one more thing, and that is I'm going to check to see if this is in fact copper. So if I scratch this, which I'm doing right now, you notice that it is a copper color underneath. Sometimes motors, if you scratch that and there's a metallic color underneath, it is actually aluminum. So this is copper, so it's worth my time to separate it. So again, I'm just gonna put it in my vise. Okay, and again, I'm going to take just 2 incisions, 1, 2, and then I'm going to turn it over. So we'll put on my safety glasses again. Anytime I'm using a grinder, I want to make sure that I have proper eyewear, proper gloves. Okay, I don't want any debris coming into my eye. Okay, the sparks did not come from the copper. The sparks came from the steel frame around it. It shows me when it's cut through. So now I have an incision here. You can see all the nice copper inside. I'm just going to turn it over, use a screwdriver, and pull it up. It's in the vise. Okay, so here's just a little pry bar. Just stick it underneath. There's one. There's the other. So, now I have some really nice number 2 copper. Okay, and what I do is I actually just put this into a bag. Okay, I've already started a bag here. You can see it adds up really nicely. Okay, there is a little bit of paper I want to get off. But this is $1.60 a pound. There's almost a pound there worth of copper. Okay, I still have now, this is going to go into my steel pile. Okay, definitely worthwhile separating. As I said, you're only going to get about 10 cents a pound for copper bearing motors, and you get $1.60 for number 2 copper. So the nice thing about this circular saw is it took me a couple minutes to take apart. The only waste is going to be this little bit of plastic. I have, again, my number 2 copper from the motor. I have a really nice cast aluminum frame, as well as another piece of it that has a little bit of steel that I need to take out. I have a really nice insulated appliance cord, or a insulated copper wire. I have some more copper with a brass screw and some silver contacts. I have a reusable blade, and I also have another copper bearing motor. I hope you found this video informative. Please comment down below, like, share, subscribe. Again, important, another appliance diverted or electronic diverted from the landfill. Hope you liked it. Stay well. Tin Man out.